In the early 1950s, CBS television network set out to adapt the popular radio program The Amos and Andy Show for television. The task of finding the right actors to bring these beloved characters to life fell to the casting directors. For the role of Amos, the kind-hearted and hard-working cab driver, they chose Alvin Childress. With his warm voice and gentle demeanor, Childress perfectly captured the essence of the character. During the auditions, he stood out amongst the other hopefuls with his natural charm and authenticity. Kingfish, the sly and cunning businessman, was played by Spencer Williams. He had already worked with the creators on the original radio show, which gave him an edge in the casting process. His comedic timing and ability to deliver memorable one-liners made him the ideal choice for the part. To play the naive and good-natured Andy Aubrey Eden, also known as Andy, the casting team selected Tim Moore. Despite being relatively new to acting, Moore's infectious energy and enthusiasm won over the decision-makers. They knew he would add depth and humor to the group dynamic. Lightning quick dialogue and clever banter were essential components of this classic comedy. So, during the casting process, special attention was paid to ensuring that the cast members had strong chemistry. To test this, they held several read-through sessions where the potential actors could interact and build rapport. These interactions helped solidify the casting choices and ensured that the on-screen relationships felt genuine and engaging. As a result of careful consideration and thorough testing, the cast of the Amos and Andy Show became one of the most iconic ensembles in television history, captivating audiences for generations to come. The Amos and Andy Show, a groundbreaking television series, was brought to life through the directorial vision of Duke Wells. Known for his innovative approach and unique style, Wells left an indelible mark on early TV comedy. Drawing inspiration from vaudeville theater and radio programs, Wells aimed to create a seamless blend of humor and relatable stories. He focused on capturing natural performances, encouraging actors to develop their character quirks and nuances. This focus on authenticity resulted in memorable portrayals by stars Alvin Childress, Spencer Williams, and Tim Moore. Wells' directing style leaned towards subtlety rather than grandiose gestures. Believing that less is often more, he guided his cast to deliver understated yet impactful performances. With a keen eye for visual gags, Wells made sure even minor comedic moments shone brightly on screen. Collaboration played a crucial role in the success of the Amos and Andy Show. Wells fostered an environment where constructive input was welcomed from all corners: writers, producers, cast members, and technical crews alike. Regular discussions allowed everyone involved to contribute ideas and refine scripts before shooting began. A prime example of this collaboration can be seen in the iconic Fresh Air Taxi sketch. Originally written as a brief scene, it evolved into a multi-part segment after feedback from the team during pre-production meetings. By working together, they elevated what could have been a forgettable moment into one of the most memorable scenes in the series. Despite facing various challenges due to societal norms and censorship rules of the time, Duke Wells managed to maintain the integrity of his artistic vision while adapting to external pressures. His unwavering commitment ensured that every episode of the Amos and Andy Show resonated deeply with audiences nationwide. The Amos and Andy Show, a 1951 television series, brought laughter to many households. Do you have a cherished memory associated with this TV series? Its enduring qualities have made it an everlasting symbol of the industry. This classic tackled various themes, from friendship and marriage to work and financial struggles, in a humorous way. Many episodes contain funny moments that will make you laugh out loud, shocking revelations that will leave you speechless, and heart-wrenching scenes that will bring tears to your eyes. One memorable episode is when Kingfish, one of the main characters, gets into trouble with the law. His friends band together to help him, leading to a series of hilarious misunderstandings and mishaps. Meanwhile, the romantic tension between Andy and his love interest, Sapphire, adds a touch of sweetness to the show. As we delve deeper into this classic, we will uncover more funny, shocking, and sad facts that will keep you engaged. So, stay tuned! Do you have a favorite episode or character from the Amos and Andy Show? We would love to hear your stories and memories in the comments below. Let's reminisce about this iconic television series together. The Amos and Andy Show, a 1951 TV series, was known for its clever set design. The show's creators paid close attention to detail, ensuring that each set accurately reflected the time period and social context of the story. For instance, the interior of the barbershop, a central location in the series, was adorned with vintage barber chairs and authentic hair tonics from the early 20th century. Filming locations varied, with both indoor and outdoor scenes. Some scenes were shot on soundstages, while others took place in real-world settings around Los Angeles. The use of outdoor locations added a sense of realism to the show, making the characters and their stories more relatable to viewers. Despite the show's success, filming was not without its challenges. One major issue was the limited technology available at the time. For example, sound synchronization was a significant concern, as the audio and video were recorded separately and then combined during editing. This process often resulted in audio that was out of sync with the actors' movements, requiring meticulous editing to correct. Another challenge was the need for continuous lighting during filming. Since the cameras of the time were unable to capture low light levels, set designers had to ensure that every scene was well lit. This often meant using large, powerful lights that could be harsh and unforgiving, highlighting any imperfections in the set or the actors' makeup. Despite these challenges, the production team of the Amos and Andy show managed to create a visually appealing and engaging television series. Their innovative techniques and resourcefulness continue to inspire filmmakers today. The Amos and Andy Show, a groundbreaking television series, first aired in 1951. This classic show featured a talented cast, including Alvin Childress as Amos, Spencer Williams as Andy, and Tim Moore as Kingfish. The show revolved around the lives of these three friends and their various misadventures in a bustling, vibrant city. Amos, a kind and gentle soul, was the voice of reason among the trio. He was often called upon to mediate disputes and offer wise counsel. Andy, on the other hand, was more laid back and easygoing. He was the glue that held the group together and was always there to lend a helping hand. Kingfish, the group's resident schemer, was always hatching elaborate plans and getting himself into all sorts of trouble. Despite their differences, the three friends shared a strong bond and were always there for each other. They faced many challenges and obstacles throughout the series, but they always managed to find their way through with the help of their friendship. The Amos and Andy Show was a trailblazer in many ways. It was one of the first television shows to feature an all-black cast, and it paved the way for future generations of black performers and writers. The show's humor and relatable characters made it a hit with audiences of all ages, and it remains a beloved classic to this day. In conclusion, the Amos and Andy Show was a groundbreaking and influential television series that featured a talented cast and relatable characters. It was a trailblazer in many ways, and remains a beloved classic to this day. In the creation of the Amos and Andy Show's musical score, composer Harry Lubin drew inspiration from the TV series' lighthearted and humorous nature. Known for his work on suspenseful radio programs, Lubin approached this project differently, using lively and upbeat melodies to enhance the comedic timing of the actors' performances. Lubin himself described his approach as trying to create something that would add humor and laughs. He composed the theme song, The Perfect Song, featuring playful whistles and bouncy rhythms that set the stage for the antics of the main characters. Collaborating closely with creator and star Andres Freeman, who provided input on the direction of each episode's music, Lubin tailored his compositions to fit specific scenes and gags. This close partnership resulted in a seamless integration of music and dialogue throughout the series. Musicians like violinist Dave Friedman contributed their talents to bring Lubin's compositions to life. With quick tempo changes reflective of the fast-paced comedy, these skilled artists helped elevate the overall mood of every episode. Furthermore, the soundtrack featured popular songs from the era, carefully selected to emphasize particular moments or emotions within the storyline. For instance, Al Jolson's rendition of Swanee River underscores sentimental reminiscing, while Fats Waller's jazzy tunes punctuate energetic sequences. Through its harmonious blend of original scores and contemporary hits, the music of the Amos and Andy Show effectively enhances both the narrative and emotional tone of this classic television program. In the television series The Amos and Andy Show, the men were members of the Mystic Knights of the Sea. Alvin Childress, who played Amos, expressed that he didn't view the show as negative towards black people. He believed it was a positive portrayal since it depicted black people as businessmen, policemen, judges, and doctors, unlike other shows that only showed them as maids or janitors. For the television version, changes were made to make the characters more middle class. The Fresh Air Taxi Company, for instance, was changed from an old rundown Model T to a later model car. Amos's uniform and office were also updated to appear more professional, reflecting a more respectable and affluent image. One of the most iconic scenes in the Amos and Andy show is from the episode titled The Lemonade Stand. In this scene, Kingfish, played by Tim Moore, and Andy, portrayed by Alvin Childress, open a lemonade stand to make some extra money. However, their plan quickly goes awry when they realize they don't know how to make lemonade. The direction in this scene is impeccable, with the camera angles and movements adding to the humor and chaos of the situation. The scene opens with a wide shot of the lemonade stand, highlighting the absurdity of two grown men running a children's stand. As the scene progresses, the camera cuts to close-ups of Kingfish and Andy's faces, capturing their frustration and confusion. The performances in this scene are also noteworthy. Tim Moore's physical comedy and facial expressions are particularly memorable, adding to the comedic timing of the scene. Alvin Childress's straight man act provides a perfect contrast to Moore's antics, creating a dynamic and entertaining exchange between the two characters. The cinematography in this scene is simple yet effective. The use of wide shots and close-ups creates a sense of space and intimacy, drawing the audience into the scene and heightening the comedic effect. The muted color palette and natural lighting also contribute to the scene's overall charm and nostalgia. The impact of this scene on the audience is significant. It showcases the comedic genius of Tim Moore and Alvin Childress, as well as the clever writing and direction of the show. The scene has become a classic example of the humor and charm of the Amos and Andy show, and continues to resonate with audiences today. In an interview, Tim Moore reflected on the scene, stating, "That lemonade stand scene was one of my favorites. It was just so silly and fun, and Alvin and I had great chemistry together. It's a scene that really showcases the humor and charm of the show." Overall, the lemonade stand scene from the Amos and Andy show is a prime example of the show's comedic brilliance and enduring appeal. Through its clever direction, memorable performances, and effective cinematography, the scene continues to captivate audiences and leave a lasting impact on television history. In the final season of the Amos and Andy show, Nick Stewart was let go due to his commitment to his theater, Ebony Showcase, which the producers felt was affecting his work on the series. Stewart, who later hosted a variety show from his theater, refused to leave Ebony Showcase, leading to his departure from the TV series. Charles J. Correll's son, Richard Correll, revealed in the documentary Amos and Andy: Anatomy of a Controversy that one of the reasons Spencer Williams was cast as Andrew H. Brown was because of his resemblance to Correll in blackface. Red Fox, known for his role in Sanford and Son, was a fan of the Amos and Andy show. Several cast members from the show later appeared on Sanford and Son, including Lillian Randolph, Kim Hamilton, Ernest Mahan, Bobby Johnson, and Alvin Childress. The Amos and Andy Show, a 1951 TV series, made a significant cultural and social impact. The show resonated with audiences due to its humor and relatable characters, portraying African American life in a way that was both entertaining and authentic. This classic sitcom featured two friends, Amos and Andy, navigating their way through various comedic situations in 1930s Harlem. Despite some controversies surrounding the show's racial stereotypes, it proved influential in popular culture. The Amos and Andy show paved the way for future African American representation on television, inspiring other black performers and writers. Furthermore, its memorable catchphrases and comedic style left a lasting impact on the television industry. The series also contributed to discussions on relevant social and cultural themes. While it occasionally perpetuated racial stereotypes, it also addressed serious issues like racism, poverty, and social inequality. By presenting these topics in a humorous context, the show encouraged audiences to engage in conversations about race and class in America. In the end, the Amos and Andy show served as a milestone in television history, leaving a lasting impact on both pop culture and social discourse. To create their ideal cast, the producers of this classic offered attractive deals to experienced actors Tim Moore and Spencer Williams, who had already left show business following lengthy careers. Initially popular on NBC Radio, the TV version of the Amos and Andy show moved to its competitor, CBS. When the show ended in April 1953, only 52 of the 65 produced episodes had aired on CBS. 13 remaining episodes, centered around Kingfish with limited appearances by Amos or Andy, were set to air during the 1953-54 season under the title The Adventures of Kingfish. However, due to cancellation, those episodes joined the syndicated reruns and premiered on January 4, 1955. The Amos and Andy Show, a 1951 television series, received mixed reviews from critics and audiences. Some praised the show for its humor and unique characters, while others criticized it for its stereotypical portrayal of African Americans. In a review for the New York Times, Jack Gould wrote that the show was a consistently funny and warm-hearted half-hour. He commended the actors for their expert comedic timing and noted that the show had a large and loyal following. However, other critics were not as enthusiastic. The NAACP, for example, strongly criticized the show for its stereotypical portrayal of African Americans and for perpetuating harmful stereotypes. The organization called for the show to be taken off the air, and many African American viewers and civil rights leaders joined in the protest. Despite the criticism, the show was a ratings success and was nominated for several awards. It was nominated for an Emmy Award for Best Situation Comedy in 1952 and 1953, and it won the award in 1953. The show's stars, Spencer Williams and Tim Moore, were also nominated for Emmy Awards for their performances. The accolades that the show received, including the Emmy Award, are a testament to its popularity and influence at the time. However, the criticism that the show received is also an important part of its legacy. The show's stereotypical portrayal of African Americans was harmful and contributed to the perpetuation of harmful stereotypes. It is important to acknowledge and learn from this aspect of the show's history, even as we recognize its achievements and contributions to the television industry. In the 1951 television series, The Amos and Andy Show, episodes were presented to live audiences, with their reactions integrated into the final broadcast. However, despite its popularity, CBS decided to cancel the program following complaints from the NAACP regarding negative portrayals of African Americans. Later, in 1966, syndicated reruns faced the same fate due to continued criticism. One notable individual associated with the production was Jester Hairston, who contributed his musical talents to both television and cinema. Famous for writing the song Amen, featured in Lilies of the Field, he also lent his vocal abilities to actor Sidney Poitier during filming. Following its release, Amen became a major success for the Impressions, reaching the top 10 hits list in 1964. The Amos and Andy Show, a groundbreaking 1951 television series, was a unique production in many ways. The show's cast, for instance, faced challenges that were both professional and personal. Alvin Childress, who played Amos, was a seasoned actor with a background in theater. However, the transition to television was a new experience for him. He had to adapt to the fast-paced shooting schedule and the technical aspects of TV production. On the other hand, Spencer Williams, who played Andy, was no stranger to the camera. He had worked in films before, but he found the daily grind of a television series demanding. Despite these challenges, the cast remained dedicated, often working long hours to ensure the show's success. Behind the scenes, the crew was equally committed. The show's writers, many of whom were also actors, spent countless hours crafting the show's scripts. They drew on their own experiences and observations to create the humorous and often poignant stories that became the hallmark of the Amos and Andy Show. The show's directors, too, played a crucial role. They worked closely with the cast and crew to ensure that each episode was visually engaging and emotionally resonant. Despite the pressures of live television, they managed to maintain a positive and supportive work environment. In the end, The Amos and Andy Show became a classic of early television. Its characters, stories, and humor have endured, continuing to captivate audiences today. The show's legacy is a testament to the hard work and dedication of its cast and crew, who together created a truly memorable television experience. In the world of 1950s television, The Amos and Andy Show was a significant presence. Interestingly, Jester Hairston, a cast member, later appeared in 3 films nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture: The Alamo, To Kill a Mockingbird, and In the Heat of the Night. After the show's initial run of 65 episodes, CBS wanted to syndicate the reruns, but felt they needed more content. The cast was brought back to film an additional 13 episodes, which were originally intended to be titled The Adventures of Kingfish. However, they premiered with the Amos and Andy rerun package instead. In 1956, creators Godson and Corell planned a revival of the series where they would appear in split screen with the cast. This shows their commitment to the show and their desire to continue its legacy. The Amos and Andy Show, which first aired in 1951, holds a significant place in television history. This groundbreaking TV series introduced many innovative elements that would become standard in future sitcoms. For instance, the show featured a continuous storyline that spanned several episodes, a novel concept at the time. Additionally, the program was one of the first to have an all-black cast, paving the way for greater diversity in television. This classic also had a profound impact on future filmmaking. Its serialized format influenced later shows like I Love Lucy and The Honeymooners, setting a precedent for how comedies could be structured. Furthermore, the success of the Amos and Andy show demonstrated the commercial viability of black talent in Hollywood, leading to more opportunities for African American actors and creators. Various subsequent works were inspired by this influential series. Among them is the popular radio show turned TV series Amos and Andy, which ran from 1951 to 1953. More recently, elements of the Amos and Andy show can be seen in modern comedy programs such as The Cosby Show and Blackish. These shows continue to build upon the foundation laid by the Amos and Andy show, further exploring themes related to the African American experience while providing entertaining content for diverse audiences. In the casting of the 1951 TV series, The Amos and Andy Show, James E. Wall was the second choice to play the role of Kingfish. It's interesting to note that both Tim Moore, who played Kingfish, and Spencer Williams, who played Andy, passed away on the same date, December 13th, but 11 years apart. Moore died in 1958, while Williams died in 1969. The choice of the lovely, yet perhaps not entirely appropriate choral music for the opening and closing titles was mainly due to its availability. The Angel Serenade by Gaetano Braga, performed by the Jeff Alexander Chorus, was composed in 1867 and was well out of copyright by 1951. This classic series utilized what was free and accessible, contributing to its unique charm. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People strongly opposed the Amos and Andy show due to its perceived negative stereotypes of black people. Protests began shortly after the show's television debut in June 1951, leading to its eventual removal from syndication in 1966. Since then, none of the series' episodes have been broadcast on television. Excerpts from various episodes were featured in the 1983 documentary Amos and Andy: Anatomy of a Controversy, providing rare glimpses of the program. Kingfish, one of the main characters, faced several evictions throughout the series, always carrying his signature smiling pirate painting. His consistent predicaments added humor, but also reflected ongoing struggles. When casting for the television adaptation, producers sought actors who could mimic the iconic radio voices of the original performers, Freeman F. Gostin and Charles J. Correll. Alvin Childress closely resembled Goslin's Amos, while Spencer Williams shared both the voice and appearance of Correll's Andy. Tim Moore successfully recreated Kingfish's distinctive voice, originally performed by Gosling during the radio era. In the Amos and Andy show, two real-life sisters, Amanda and Lillian Randolph, took on the roles of Sapphire's mother and Madam Queen. These veteran actresses had already played their respective characters on the original radio show. Their contribution to this classic television series added a touch of familiarity and authenticity to their performances. The Randolph sisters' talent and experience were a valuable asset to the show, making their portrayals both believable and entertaining. In 1951, the Amos and Andy show made a significant transition from radio to television. However, this transition was not without controversy. The show, which featured African American characters, was criticized for its portrayal of black culture and stereotypes. The NAACP even protested against the show, leading to its eventual cancellation in 1953. One tragic fact about the show is the death of one of its main stars, Alvin Childress, who played the role of Amos. Childress passed away in 1986, alone and virtually forgotten. His death was a stark contrast to the fame and popularity he enjoyed during the show's heyday. Despite its controversial nature, the Amos and Andy show remains a significant part of television history. It was one of the first shows to feature an all-black cast, and its impact on the entertainment industry can still be felt today. The show's legacy serves as a reminder of the progress that has been made in terms of representation and diversity, as well as the work that still needs to be done. Did you grow up watching the Amos and Andy show? This classic TV series left a lasting impression on many households across America. If you have fond memories or personal stories connected to it, we would love to hear them. Perhaps this groundbreaking program made you laugh until tears rolled down your cheeks, or taught valuable lessons that stayed with you throughout adulthood. Whatever your experience may be, please feel free to share it with us. We believe that engaging with our audience helps create a warm community where everyone can reminisce about old favorites like this timeless TV series. By liking, sharing, and commenting on our posts, you help make this possible. Why not take a moment to reflect on how the Amos and Andy show has shaped your views on television and comedy? Your insights might inspire others who hold this vintage production close to their hearts too. Let's keep the conversation going by hitting that subscription button so you won't miss out on future discussions centered around other memorable films and shows. We look forward to hearing from you.